So I'm pleased to be with Major Joe Williams, member of the Jamaican Military Band, having joined on February 14th, 1951. He is also historically a director of the Jamaican Copyright Licensing Agency. He rose to the level of Bandmaster for the Jamaican Military Band beginning in 1968, and then upon his advancement to a lieutenant in 1974, became the director of music at the Jamaican Military Band.
Jamaican Defense Force.
Jamaican Defense Force, very good, sir.
Yeah.
You attended England's Royal Military School on a scholarship.
Yes, School of Music.
You were an early orchestra member with Redver, Cooke, and other orchestras, including Carlos Malcolm.
Quite right.
You are a arranger for the Jamaican National Anthem.
Yes.
You are a conductor, composer, arranger, author, bandmaster, and eventual director of music for the Jamaican Defense Force, hailing from Spanish Town, Jamaica.
Right.
Major Joe Williams, thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Definitely, yes, likewise. So with that big introduction, I'll allow you to introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Joseph Williams, popularly known as Joe Williams. As you may have heard, I joined the Jamaica Military Band as an apprentice in 1951 and moved in the ranks to improver, soloist, and then eventually I won a scholarship to the Royal Military School of Music, Nella Hall, England. I studied there for 3 years. Very enjoyable time, very informative. And during my stay at the Royal Military School of Music, I was involved in many activities. Socially, I played football and I played cricket. I was the opening batsman for the school for 3 years. And on the other side, I was a part of the school choir. There is a student choir of about 30 out of the school of 250 students and pupils. I also sang at the grand concert, which is held during the summer months, in a double quartet, 8 of us singing with a band of 200 in the background. I was asked to represent the school on the BBC to provide a band in support of some British soldiers who were stationed in Guyana, and they learned to play the steel band, and they returned to England, but weren't too sure they wanted to go on the BBC alone. So they went to the school and they asked the director of music, Colonel Brown, for some support. Colonel Brown called me and said, "Student Williams, I would like you to put a band together and to go on the BBC program with these steel band guys," which I did. It was a pleasure, it was indeed. So I put together some West Indian type guys and some Africans. I played the tenor sax on that show, and the band did a broadcast, including the steel band. And a rebroadcast was done in Germany. And of course, we were paid for that, which is quite some incentive to be able to do something you enjoy and be remunerated, you know.
Yes,
so many activities that took place at the Royal Military School of Music. I was a part of the director's band, which is about 30, I wouldn't say the best, but the top players out of the 250 that he put together as a special band to do outside engagements away from the school. And there were only 3 West Indians in there. I was happy and pleased to be a part of that. And so that, again, is something that I will always remember, being selected for these special events and these special occasions. At the school, we have quite a lot to do. We start somewhere about 8:30 in the mornings and finish around 4:30 in the afternoons. And of course, the holidays are very active even when you're not at school because you have homework to do and projects to do. The curriculum is very, very tight and interesting because there's nothing you don't do in music. You know, I've always said some people learn music and some people study music. There's quite a difference there. We have to study music. All aspects of composers' lives and harmony, arranging, two-part invention, composition, and all the different things. I learned quite a bit, although I studied before going to Nello Hall. I remember clearly the professor asking us, the class, the first 6 months, maybe the first occasion meeting us, he would ask each student to do a special tune to see how well they can write music whereby manually because we didn't have those electronic things yet, you know, those programs. And he would say to a British guy, write for me The Girl I Left Behind. And he said to me, write me a national anthem. So there I sat with my paper and pen from memory and from what I mentally could put together to write. So that is a part of the test. Now, the entry into the Royal Military School of Music, Nello Hall, is you have to do 6 months on a sort of preliminary course to see if you have the aptitude and the skill to carry on for the other 2.5 years, or the 3 years. And so you're given special activities musically, and at the end of the 6 months, you're given a test. Well, I was so pleased I came third out of a class of 14, you know. Unfortunately, some of the other students were sent home for cheating. These things do happen, you know, and so having passed and placing third in the exam, I was now ready to continue. And during this time, my family was still in Jamaica. So I was on campus for 6 months, hoping to get through, which I did. And so, having passed, I could now send back to Jamaica saying, look, I'm ready for my other 2.5 years, so I'd like my family to come. And so they came, and I moved off campus, and then I moved into London. And they settled down. The children started going to school. And I was walking through a particular place in London, southwest I used to live, known as Clapham Junction. It's a famous train station area. And I came across a Jamaican man who was living there. And we introduced ourselves and we got talking. And he invited me to a nightclub known as the Chase. I went there, and of course it was a West Indian club. And I saw so many Jamaicans there, and they were very happy to see me. Yeah. So one I knew before, he went to England in 1962. This is now 1965 I'm talking about. And he said he was running a band. He's starting a band, and he needed some help. Of course, I'm a musician, playing in all these bands in Jamaica here before going to England. I was quite happy to use my spare time away from school to do that. And so he gave me piano scores to do the arrangement for the band, keyboard and saxophone, trumpet and guitar, all these things, which I did. So virtually, I took over the band as much as I was not the owner of the band. And so that gave me some extra money at the end of every week.
What was that man? Was that Eric Grant?
Eric Clark.
Eric Clark. Very good.
Sleepy. Okay. He called him
Sleepy. Yes, okay.
Right? So I took over the band by way of doing the rehearsals, arranging the music, and he goes around and he gets the engagement and all that.
He's still doing his thing to this day, you know. He does booking and whatnot. He's not playing actively.
He's about 90-something now, right. Because we're in touch, you know. Yes. You know, so that gave me all the practice and contact with different musicians and singers around the Southwest area, Wandsworth, Brixton, you know, all around the place.